You all that shame. Huh? All y'all sitting in here now too hip to be happy. White police coming here to arrest us all the night. But they wouldn't do right-wing, redneck, nigger-hating honkies. They wouldn't touch their meat because they know they got to die. That's right. So y'all talk all that old crazy talk. Teach your little children you got to be twice as smart as a white boy. That's a violation of God. That's like me teaching you when he changed your dollar, he only going to give you 13 cents. How you going to teach a black child that white racist police stop you? Behave. How you going to teach a child to be mannerly and respectful with filth? But when them two black detectives talk to you, stop you, you want nigga, how come you ain't out busting dope with? Because your mom and dad ain't never told you how to treat black cops. And when that cop stopped you, and I can tell you because I had one say, stop going, I kept going, I thought I was going to die on the spot. When do y'all understand death is better? Yes, sir. But you want to have all that old crap about your children. Damn your children. I'm not trying to get liberated from my children. I'm trying to get liberated from myself, and I'll give them that gift. I don't need my children to give me nothing. Give y'all. But when this white racist system call your ass in the army, you don't say, what about the family? You don't say, what about the children? But when it comes my turn, you want to tell me to damn your family. Because all they end up being is a bunch of racist mentality idiots. And then y'all want to sit around talking about Bob this or nigga live to get old. Y'all want to call him Bob and think he got some William. If you was dumb at 9, you dumb at 99. Honor your mother and father if they honor. If they honor. Hey, you black folk go see a movie called Barbershop and had nerve enough and thought it was funny. And don't know how ignorant you are. Them niggas in the movie, them entertainers, what colleges they go to? What humanities have they done? They never a bunch of hoodlums and thugs with no respect. Red Fox was never a hoodlum and thug, but he would never say nothing derogatory about our movement. I knew Red. Red was smart cocaine from time he woke in the morning, time he went to bed at night. But he understood the movement. You young folks and listened to them idiots. And you thought it was funny. Yet you think you so here, the niggas got a right to sat. Them niggas ain't doing no satire. I'm the satire master. That's right. That's right. And don't have to be validated by the New York Times or the Washington Post or by you. Cedric the Entertainer, that little hoodlum probably wear his hat to bed at night. You know what a St. Louis thug. And he gonna get in the movie and talk about Dr. King? And I'm not saying that because my brother King the third is sitting back here. I love this brother. I say this when he ain't even around. If it hadn't been for this movement, we in this town tonight, 30 years ago, couldn't have sitting in a hotel like this. And had we had a gathering at a black church, it would have been 600 cops from the state to the FBI surrounded it. And we can come here and sit here tonight. Dressed the way you want to dress because of this movement. And you had nerve enough to go and see, and it shouldn't have been no debate. You know damn well the little thug punks would never say Queen Elizabeth is a hoe, and she is a hoe.
That's right. Teach on that.
Never would say Winston Churchill is a hoe. And he ain't no but a murdered thug punk.
That's right.
President in the office got his joint in another young girl's mouth, and them niggas ain't mentioned that. He's scared. Rosa Parks didn't do nothing. A white boy wrote that script, and everything that's sacred to us, including reparations, they reduce it down to welfare. Y'all won't see through that? Well, y'all better be glad the white folks and the niggas that's in charge is in charge. But if I took in charge, I'd get rid of most of y'all, but niggas and Jews, you too emotional.
That's right.
You got black folks and a group of folks over here siding with the Palestinians, another group of folks siding with the Jews. That ain't nothing but a trick. There's human beings being killed. And until you understand that, you part of the filth.
That's it.
That real universal God can shine. When our brother that was gunned down this morning, the sun shined on the person that gunned him down. When we all understand what real God is about. It wasn't no dark cloud around that punk's head that killed Bernard this morning. It was raining on both of them. Because the real God is you. What y'all need to do is two things. You need to go buy your hillbilly record. Oh, you can laugh at that. But in the hillbilly record, they never talk about I caught my woman in bed with my best friend. Y'all need to listen to that trail of trash and see if they ever berate their woman. And you sisters need to look at what you wiggling your butt to some song that's reducing you to a hoe.
That's right.
Go and look at little schools with a marching band in the white neighborhood and see the little girls are shaking their ass like you let your little children under the false pretenses they some drum majorettes. Y'all crazy. We ain't poor. We didn't come from Hosta. We come from kings and queens.
That's it. That's it.
Then y'all get hip enough to go to the movie and you niggas came out with all your twisted hair and all your stuff and you just love Matrix. Matrix was one of the biggest insults to black folks in history. That's right. He said, this black man has never been a mind like him, and this sister, but the white boy was the savior. Y'all didn't walk around?
Always.
And what Matrix was really about is how British intelligence invented a cell phone to wipe you out. Not you as black folk, I care nothing about you. Tupac and them white people, because I was just with some filthy lyrics about my woman. Because once I can reduce you down to trash, everybody know that trash is supposed to be thrown away in the morning. Somewhere when you sit and understand that this thing is moving fast, and it ain't just for you to save yourself, brother. It's for the group. Don't throw pearls to swine. I always throw pearls to swine because I want to swine, people throw them to me. And this is together. And somewhere we have to understand that. And tomorrow this space should be packed, and we should all apologize to the folks who invested their money in here to raise you to another level.
That's right.
Where you can get some real truth. NBC is owned by General Electric. 79% of all the war materials around the world is made by General Electric. You gonna look at them tonight for news? That will never tell you that the folks being shot at the filling stations are all Exxon stations. So we don't know if they get shot there or not, or brought there after they shot. The news media haven't told you that only one person in that sniper site had been white.
Right. That's real.
And the one that was white that was shot was probably a message.
Right.
That little town in Virginia is 100 miles from where the killing is. That little town where that white woman was shot. She didn't die. That town in Virginia is where the United States headquarters teaching Marines to be assassins. And so that trigger dude went all the way back there to shoot that person to leave the signature to let the boys know I'm one of y'all. That's what this game is about. Then what you gonna do? Be afraid? You're scared. You're dead. Fear and God don't occupy the same space. Most y'all don't even know what God is. Some old ignorant stuff that your mom and daddy dropped on you, then when you break away from it and go doing another something like this. Black Muslims, some of the most respected folks on the planet, but this white racist system got it fixed where you niggas can't even marry. Farrakhan, don't want to get married. You can't get married in the nation of Islam because this white racist system don't give you the right to do that. That's why when we had the Million Family March, we had to bring in them old gangster CIA moonies to perform the wedding. Y'all crazy? Y'all always want to be too hip to be happy, but you can't fill up a room. Y'all be ashamed of yourself. But the Baptist church, the black church, who some of y'all don't like, think it's a applause that they can pack it and sell fried chicken and barbecue outside. Huh? And here's a brother here selling fresh juice, and he'll probably take as many apples back home tonight as he brought. Gonna come here with everything to uplift your stuff, and gonna take it back because ain't nobody here. That's your fault. What you gonna depend on a white racist system to advertise and say, hey, here's where it is? It's a funny game. Somewhere we have to say thanks. Martin Luther King survived the old crack barber shop. What they said we can't use the stepping fences no more. Or the man-tan boards, but man-tan boards and the stepping fences didn't belong to the NAACP. How many of you all belong to the NAACP or the Urban League? What's that about? Well, the Urban League is stupid, ain't no more whiter than the car manufacturer you paying your note to. There ain't no whiter than the crows where you go and shop. So what's that game about? See, we need to stop bad-mouthing Jews and stop and look at them and learn and do what they do. Because evidently if the Jews was breaking laws the way the Americans hate them, they'd have been in jail. Y'all need to stop bad-mouthing Israel and see if we can put a plan together and do for Africa what they done for Israel. Huh? Talking about the Jewish lobby, we need an African lobby, since y'all so bad. Y'all walk around with African girls, don't send no money there. The Jews, they walk around here dressed like Jews in Israel, but they send bills. It's a game they play. And all that crap going on in Africa, that ain't Africa. That's the CIA, British intelligence, German intelligence, manipulate them.
That's right.
And the thing is moving fast now. 03 gonna be a hell of a year. That planet shows up every 3,700 years. That's what Noah's Ark was about. I ain't gonna get into that tonight. How many of y'all know what I'm talking about? I ain't gonna get into that. Y'all don't deserve it. And those of you know it will step out of the way, and those of you don't know it, bye.
Please.
And that's what the white folks is doing. They've been building cities in outer space since 1963. And September 11th, never say 9/11. 9/11 is a trick. In America, we don't use a number for a month. We say Christmas is December the 25th. And then some of you black people get so hip, I don't celebrate no whitey Christmas holiday. Come on in here, white boy. Come on in here. Learn something. Oh, come on in here. I know he ain't the police here, stone hungry, but he ain't the police. Y'all got niggas sitting here that's the police. Don't y'all think some of y'all ain't the police? Come on, Martin, over here. Martin, my friends. Now you know how I feel when I go to your clan rounds. You came out here tonight, you trying to help me. I ain't worried about these assassins, the CIA that we have. I'm trying to find out what happened to albinos after high school. Where you go? Y'all in all this slick stuff trying to figure out this planet that's figured up. I just want to know what happened to albinos after high school. Every high school got albinos, and then they disappeared. said that albino raped me. You ain't never seen the cops handcuffing albino. I've been in the army, didn't see no albino. I do meetings like this all the time, don't see no albino. Go to concerts all over the world, don't see no albinos. In the airport every day, no albino. Well, every high school got one, eyes be jumping all around. And then they just disappear. And nobody misses it. And then when I solve that mystery, I want to work on you black Muslims. How come you niggas don't sweat in the summertime? You got on a suit, a short shirt, and a bow tie. 142 below, and I'm sitting in my car with the air conditioning on, hot as hell, and y'all standing out there with a bean pie. And the bean pie is mystery. You know what we like?
Oh, very much.
But let me tell you, when you go back there, the brothers be immaculate. And you don't see no bean pies. If you order 3 or 300, then niggas run around the car and come back. God knows you better be real glad that I understand universal law, that I know why they don't sweat. It might have something to do with serious prayer. It might have something to do with prayer where you're praising God instead of begging God. That might be why they don't sweat. But if I didn't know that use the rules, I'd take that a nigga like you to take you to my base and sometimes put the heat on, and nigga, you won't tell me why you don't sweat. You gonna sweat for me. You niggas just like me, they don't want to know this in my heart. How come you gonna sweat? Brother Farrakhan pulled off something nobody ever pulled off in this country. He brought 1.9 million black men. I know because I looked at the naval intelligence count. To Washington, D.C. on October Monday, not August like the unions with $1 billion ticket. They had their marches on August when school is out. People got vacation time. This brother called for it, on a Monday in October. And 1.9 million folks showed up. I met with this brother, and I said, brother, met him at his house. Any of y'all ever been to America? You have to take your shoes off. I have no problem with that. These niggas got hardwood floors and bunions and corns and calories. Y'all know what I'm talking about. This don't work. Feet out there, I ran trying to run traffic since I was a little boy. I need to put combat boots on when I go in the boy's house. You ever been on a hardwood floor? No, it hurts like I don't listen to music. No, you gotta go keep your Y'all know what? So I'm meeting with the minister at his house, and I said, brother, next week is the Million Man March, and I said, I think we need to, they're not gonna give us a fair count. You got that deep Muslim, Middle Eastern look came over and said, my brother, let me tell you about Allah. I said, man, you know, I don't have no problem with praying to the east, but last time I checked, the march was taking place in the west. And I said, what we need to do to get a fair count is go there and have a rumble. He said, you mean fight? I said, yeah, that's what rumble used to mean when you was a Christian. I love to hear Muslims tell me, I ain't celebrating no Christmas, no white Christian holiday. I said, nigga, anytime Christmas fall on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and your bank is closed, you celebrate. Anytime you can't get your money out of the bank, you will celebrate that holiday. So the minister, he's always, you know, he's so respectful. So he says, my brother, we'll be all right. I said, but we need to have a rumble. And to this day, they are still debating how many black men showed up. That wouldn't have happened had they listened to me. If we had a rumble, I can see the headlines now. 75 million showed up. 7 million chased this 75-year-old white woman. One thing you black boys, you have to stop being emotional. That's why I asked my friend, that's a cold-blooded white boy right there. That's a cold, I mean, y'all have to learn that. You be cold, you ain't unethical. That's why I told him 3 years ago, before the money got funny. I told you keep your money in black banks. White boys, he ain't listen to me. He got white out here, that old Enron stuff. I got the Asian brother can't read and write. Didn't buy none because he thought they were saying Enron with your money. And I asked Asian brother, how you know so much about that? I studied it. I said, you ever brought it up? He studied because he thinks Dow Jones is a brother. Just want to help the brother out. See, but Tom wouldn't listen to me. Put your money in a black bank. You think black banks ain't gonna fold when the white bank gonna fold before? But in the black bank, because of emotion, you can get telegraphed. You know when it's gonna happen. White bank, them white boys so cold-blooded. I was in a white bank with Tom over 3 months ago, and a white dude at the bank is selling a 98-year-old white woman a 30-year CD. And he's explaining to her what the penalty will be if he try to cash it in her. And I say, Tom, this has never happened in a black bank. Can you make you walk in a black bank? You 98 years old, this brother look at you, I'm a 30 years old, sister, you better go out there and enjoy yourself. You ain't got but about 7 more days. Explain that to my wife. I said, baby, you know, keep the money in the black bank. We can telegraph. You can tell when the black bank get in trouble. Huh? Walk in the black bank and tell her read the warrant ads. Go to sleep. My wife said, that don't mean nothing. I said, right out, I'll check for $5, see what happened. They cashed it with pennies. Therefore, we said to him, 3 dudes ran in and said, this is a sticker. The teller fell on the floor and laughed. If you want some serious money, you better go across the street and rob Safeway. How long? I want y'all to follow this with me. Because if you think you can live in filth because you wear dashiki or plait your hair a different way, you're not affected by it. That's like say I can walk through dog doo-doo and don't smell the stench. We pick up the paper tomorrow morning. When the babies cry or holler, just take them outside. It might be too hot in here, but we don't want that picked up on the table. Hear me good now. Tomorrow morning we pick up the paper and the headlines say 3 African Americans robbed a welfare mother, killed her, and got 30 cents. And you would be angry, upset. But let's pick up the paper tomorrow and read this. 12 Harvard-looking African Americans went into the American First National Bank and pulled off the biggest robbery in the history of America. $5.9 billion and killed 12 people, and most of us in this room be high-five. Come on, we got one. Anytime a sister can mess your mind up so bad that it can be a bad crime and a good crime, you are a fool. You have been reduced down to an animalistic nothing. Crime is crime. It's not how much I took for you. Huh? But how is it, because the paper said they was well-dressed, Harvard type, wiped out $5.6 billion and killed 12 people. And we'd be buzzing, smiling. Hey, did you see what the brothers did? But one brother killed one person and take 29 cents, and that seems to embarrass you. Anytime a system can mess your head up to where there is good filth and bad filth, where did I get this from? There's something wrong. Fear, you can't be scared. My brother called me scared to death the other day. They're about to repossess my car. What must I do? Don't park in front of the house. Car green, clean, and red. These repossessors is not the brightest people on the planet. Black folks, understand one thing. Anytime a white racist system can reduce you below the dignity that God put in you just so you can pay your rent and feed your family and pay your house, that's a violation of God. Hear me, did you hear me? Because there's certain things that are going to have to be explained to you. I don't want to buy all that old crap about black men were selling them. So black men sell dope in America. They don't bring it in, and when white folks tell them don't sell it, they stop. So don't bring me all this old crap about black folks was into slavery. I don't even do that. But how can you be from one part of Africa, and I'm from another part, and I don't know you, and you don't know me, and this white boy here take us both and bring us here to sell what you can produce. And this white boy ain't got nothing he can put in you to produce something that can be sold. So how did he ever convince me? I don't even know how my joint got hard to go inside of you for this cracker who hate you and me. Oh my God, one day that got to be explained to me. And then after you got pregnant, you prayed to God that the baby could be born deformed. What a prayer a mother is reduced to prayer. You know, like maladjusted or limb missing or twisted body. I know this is a horrible prayer, God, but if I get a baby like that, they can't sell it. I'll get to keep it. What a prayer. And y'all gone from that to producing some snotty-nosed thugs that's doing gangster rap. These ain't white folks that came down from another planet. These thugs came out your belly. These niggas standing on the corner selling dope. They're not mafia folks. These came out your belly. You know who they are, and y'all won't stand on the corner and say, hey man, you got a right to abuse your body, but you don't have a right to abuse this neighborhood. And you take that dope over there to the areas where the white folks that bring it in. Go in the Italian neighborhood and sell it. How is it you got a neighborhood you can't live with white folks and you're scared to live where you live because they threw stuff on you? A 9-year-old child can find a heroin man, but the FBI can't find it. I don't have a right, I'm not a cop, I don't have a right to say you can't sell dope, but I got a right to say you ain't gonna sell it in this neighborhood. If you do, you're gonna do it over my dead body. Not because I'm gonna kill you, because I'm gonna bring some folks out that don't mind dying. That's a small price to pay to clean up my neighborhood. Then they run this game down and y'all suffer enough to fall for something wrong with public school. Public school is the best thing ever happened. Ain't no school no good. But don't y'all understand public schools, what public schools is about? Chicago public school, the students get $4,500 per pupil per year times 800,000. 5 miles outside Chicago in the suburbs, the children get $14,500 per year. Now since when you gonna be stupid enough to expect your Chevy to run like my Rolls Royce? You get what you pay for. Instead of us standing up saying to these chumps, wait a minute man, we getting a good education compared to what we putting into it. But they make us think there's something wrong with the public school, there's something wrong with the ghetto school. Them hillbilly white folks that ain't making no more money than you, how they can read. Because anytime I'm stupid enough to entrust my child to be taught by a white racist system. These black folks in the classroom, but then there's white folks that read. Something wrong. Something wrong. I was so small when I was in school, but the teacher, I was an all black too, but the teacher was dumb. Come out this old white bag. Richard, I ain't never made nothing but C's, D's. But they were, at the bottom of it, they said, Richard is a good boy. Nigga can't read or write, can't spell, figure nothing, but Richard is a good boy. And that's why I survived, because I didn't have to be validated by them. I knew I was smart when I didn't even know what smart was. She said, there's 7 black holes sitting on the fence. The farmer come out and shoot and kill 4 of them. How many left? I say, none. She, let me say, no, you don't have to say it over again. You think them other folks didn't hear that gun go off there? You didn't say how many lines, you said how many left on the fence. So I didn't have to be validated by a dumb teacher. Just reading some stuff out of some old Jack and Jill book that some old silly white folks wrote. I want you all to come up to the blackboard and take this chalk and just in a very brief whatever, just say something, the most exciting thing that ever happened to you. I'm about 9 years old. Didn't nobody come up. I mean, you were depressed in a black neighborhood before welfare. What the welfare not was wrong. So what they got right about excited? I had a whole bowl of oatmeal by myself. But here she go again. Richard is a good boy. Come on up here. So here I go. Small little teaching. Yeah, here I am. You take that chalk and tell us something exciting happened to you. I just picked up the chalk and went up there and made a little period and went back to my seat. What's that about? What's that? That point? I said, it's not a point, that's a period. She said, well, how did that get to be exciting? I said, I don't know. But I know my cousin came home one day and told her mother she missed her period. Her mother had a heart attack, daddy had a stroke. And the man, he drove to his suicide. I don't know what it is on the period, but that's the most exciting thing. So I'm born October the 12th, 1932, tomorrow at 5:40 p.m. St. Louis time. I'll be in Hawaii. I'll turn 7 years old. Yeah, right. Don't want to be nothing but 7. I don't want to go back to them horrible days. You old black folks, y'all stop tricking these young kids. The good old days. The good old days. 7 years old nigga, the good old days was they left. We so poor and hungry when I was a little child. The best day we had in my house was Halloween. You could wear your natural clothes. Everybody thought you was dressed for your cake. Oh, look at Richard. Got on shoes, look just like feet. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. I wouldn't mind being back in high school now. Because high school is something else. I mean, I just never thought I'd live to see the day that a white teacher in Oregon would go to jail twice for getting knocked up by one of our students. Y'all read that? Wow. Now, if I had teachers like that when I was coming up, I would have perfect attendance. I'm just see my mother now. Boy, where you going? You know, Christmas Day with them books. Where you going? I'm going to school. Mom, I'm getting a little behind in the class. know, this thing is moving fast. The children are so bright today. Born inside your belly. I don't know how old I was before I saw a dead person, because they didn't take children to funerals. Or the plane that crashed in Afghanistan tonight will be in your living room on the evening news. So the whole psyche can change. Y'all talking about how rude the children are. You should have been rude when you was a child of a white racist system. Born October 12, 1932, went to college in 1952. It's the first time in my life I was around white folks that had to call me by my name, and I didn't have to call them Mr. or Mrs. I should have been rude. Hear me. Up until then, all my life, white folks said, hey you, or Sonny, come here, boy. And I had to call white folks Mr. or Mrs. There was probably some that didn't demand it, but I didn't want to take a chance. We come through some old ignorant craziness. We all think it's nice for a child to work. Nobody work but a fool. The dumbest one of y'all sitting here smarter than Prince Charles. He ain't never had a job. Why you need one?
Right?
What's that game about? Workers ain't got nothing but an attitude. That's the only thing you can do for 8 hours a day is work. You can't have sex 8 hours a day. You can't drink whiskey or you can't eat 8 hours a day. You can work. Why? Because your mom and daddy planted that in your subconscious mind. Work. So my mother was just so proud of me. Richard is a good boy. I'm like 7 years old and had a paper route. My mother loved me, she thought. Every morning at 4 o'clock in the morning, a 7-year-old child get out of bed and go deliver papers in St. Louis, Missouri. In the wintertime, we get 30 below 0. We didn't have windshield practice. She loved me. You know what the paper sold for? 3 cents. 3 cents. The St. Louis Post-Dispatch sold for 3 cents. So what was I getting? Huh? What was I getting? Anytime you need a child in your house to work to help you make ends meet, that's how I tell you you're a fool. Well, so don't make no difference what kind of job you got, boy, just be the best. I knew something was wrong with that, but she even went further. If you ain't doing nothing but washing toilets, be the best toilet washer. I told my brother, let's get out of here. This is stolen. I mean, would you be proud of me and you was like lovers and you bragging about I'm the best toilet washer in the world? The president of the United States just gave me a little gold diamond toilet at the Kennedy Center. Maybe the best toilet washer in the world. And they say, don't nobody make biscuits like I make biscuits. You make biscuits with your hands, right? How do you like living with the best toilet wash in the world and make your biscuits? You know what I'm saying, huh? Yeah, listen to these old black folks. You old black folks, sometimes you ought to just take what you're saying before you talk to them. You could tell them about drugs. The number one, there's more stomach cancer caused in America every day from drinking coffee than lung cancer from smoking cigarettes. Now try to keep your coffee up. And when you start understanding stuff like pH level, one soda pop make your bloodstream 10,000 times more acid than God meant for it to be. And the pH level is changed from one soda pop. You have to drink 15 glasses of water to get the pH level back to the God meant for it. And y'all buy that crap for your children, huh? While y'all fighting racism. Then when you hide the name, you say have a coke. One cup of coffee, you drink 17 glasses of water to get the pH level back. They don't do me no good to tell you all that. I just tell you out of love, because those of y'all that drink coffee and do what they gonna do. A white racist system that sell you cigarettes that you know cause cancer. Y'all ain't got enough sense to fake the white folks that you smoking so they won't stop. And those of you that smoke, one day y'all smoke cools and then y'all go way over in the white neighborhood and get a pack. You throw them away because the ones in your neighborhood are spiked twice as much. Malt liquor? Why do you think malt liquor is made by a white company but only sold in black neighborhoods? It has a thing in it called manganese, and manganese the body needs, but after you get too much of it, you kill your mom. The highest homicide rate on this planet ain't in no black ghetto in America. It's a little town in Ireland where the homicide rate is 200 times higher than any place in the world with that same population, and that town just happened to be located across the street from a manganese plant. So y'all walk around, y'all so hip, y'all so this here. I ain't gonna break none, but I'm gonna let them bring it in so some nigga get high and crazy and manganese and kill your mom. Something wrong with that. And if any of y'all in here get upset over the word nigga, I hope you do, because you're a nigga. I didn't call you a nigga. If I say, oh, you hoes and can't stand up, any woman get upset, you got some whole tendency, I call you a nigga. I know if I say, oh, you billionaire stand up, that ain't gonna bother. How you so sure you never be a billionaire but got doubts to be a nigga? And it don't insult you during the OJ trial when they changed it to the N-word? One day when my Jewish brothers and sisters get insane enough to be so upset over what Hitler and that filth did to them that they got so upset they want to change the word swastika to the S word, to a concentration camp to the C word. What kind of fools are you? The word is nigga, 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 nigga. And it cost me millions of dollars because when I was the hottest thing in show business, white people would give me anything I wanted. I went from making $1,500 one year to $1.5 million in the next 18 months. I was their darling. And when I did the book, I named it Nigga. I said, I'm gonna take this nigga snake and just defang it. And then all my people scared to put the book in the window. Black folks are scared to order. Give me one of them whatchamacallit. And now I have black people say, I just hate the word that there. Well, I never heard nobody say that before I named it that. And now white folks are so upset because their children is waking up every morning high-fiving, you my nigga, baby. So now the word is back in their face. Now they talking on talk shows all over why the word nigga shouldn't be used, but ain't nobody talking about police brutality on talk shows. And you sisters, y'all better check out police brutality. More black women have been brutalized by cops and killed in the last 18 months than in the last 50 years. Because all once your attitude will change. You ain't that little docile thing. Sister driving down the street in her Mercedes. It was a time the cop would see a sister Mercedes, and that was the whole drive in the pimp's car. They don't know that she's vice president of Georgia Tech, huh? They don't know she's the number 3rd person at IBM. So when they pull her over, they hear something in her voice that they didn't expect to hear. So then that thing starts. So somewhere when you understand how fast this thing is moving, and don't underestimate September the 11th. September 11th ain't had nothing to do with you. All you gotta do is those symbols. When white folks get ready to come after you, they ain't going to the World Trade Center. And if y'all believe Arab pulled off what they told you to have, didn't even know they had a hole underground the white folks told them. And still can't get it out. And all this old crap with Saddam Hussein, you mean, I know something that the New York Times don't know, that we're Saddam Hussein's best customer? We buy $6 billion worth of oil from him every year. And I'm worried about him making weapons of hate, but I'm paying for it, and nobody wants to talk about it. It's a game they play. That's how we ain't nothing but American fun. I mean, do you know how he came to power? The helicopter crashed and killed the leader. We know now the CIA knocked it down and took Saddam Hussein and put him in power. He's always been our puppet. And we got you over here choosing sides. Because some white person will talk nasty about him and you think that makes him right. The games, the games, the games. We fighting him and CNN is reporting the war from Baghdad. Can you imagine I jump on your family and my daughter works for the London Times and she's reporting it out your living room and you stupid enough to let her in it? Now, if white folks really knew what was September 11 was about, they'd be in the street now. September 11 is they getting ready to get rid of 100 million white folks that they don't need because the computers and the machines have come in. And if any of y'all in this room have been to Helsinki or know anybody going, tell them when they go to the restaurant to call you and tell you what the restaurants are like in Helsinki. There are no humans in a restaurant. It's all about computer and machine. You know how much money you make? If you own a restaurant and the food go from you to me, I don't have to tip. The food can never be burned. Ain't nobody stealing my stuff. Huh? That's where this thing fixing to go. And being white in America and in the Western world is a job. I don't need no job. I can go home. My mother feed me. My sister feed me. It's a game they play. So how long? Somewhere you have to understand. How many of y'all know about this new machine? This little scooter. It's going to go on sale. It was selling to the government last year for $3,000. It's called what? It? Listen to me now. How many of y'all know about this machine? Raise your hand. How many of y'all know the machine has no brakes? How many of y'all know that? Raise your hand. One person. How many of y'all know if your 99-year-old grandmother was on it and she was falling, it's impossible for her to fall because the giant spoke without hurting her or shaking her or push her back the other way? If the machine ain't got no brakes, how do you think you get it to stop? If somebody take a shot, huh? No. Come on. No. Y'all don't know. Shut up. Y'all don't know. Y'all don't know.
Y'all have to stop?
No. That's voice acting. You think it stopped. And it stops. Which means if y'all work for me, we got to take it out. Now I know each one of y'all are thinking about me. If I own a bank, I can put on the top of my bank and pick up the thoughts of the bank robber 2 miles away. Let me tell you somebody very close to me without revealing because it's kind of secret what she told me. Real close to me. A priest was accused of raping a woman 4 months ago in 1948 in the rectory in a certain room on a couch. And they had a machine by there 4 months ago and got the evidence. That's where we are. That's where this thing is going. So all of these white folks out here that think it's over. How many of y'all in this room know now? Watch this very closely. How many of y'all in this room know that 1% of the population controls 95% of wealth? So that means that 99% of the population have 5% of the wealth. Now you really don't get a true picture, so let me paint a true picture. There's 100 people in this room. You got that? And there's 100 biscuits. You got that? And you blink your eyes and when you open it up, one person's got 95 biscuits. And 99 people got 5. Now I get me now. Hear me now, let me do this, huh? Because then you'll understand why you're so evil and why you're so nasty and why you're so bitter. And why when you're having sex you got to hurt her? And why when you're having sex you want to be hurt? Because you can't get no biscuit. One day when you ain't got nothing to do, you ever been driving, how many of y'all drive? You ever been driving down the highway by yourself and you're driving straight and that big full moon is in front of you? And 20 minutes later you're still driving straight and that moon's behind you? And so I don't want to think about it when I'm by myself. I'm thinking, damn, that could be more than one moon, but I ain't going to deal with that while I'm out here on this highway. There's certain things you don't want to deal with it while you're by yourself. You know what I mean? But I ain't changing. I'm going straight. I'm going due north. Huh? Oh, I ain't even going to get into that one. One person got 95 biscuits and 99 people got 5 biscuits. You ever tried to divide 99 into 5? Well, you talk about pie. No, it ain't even crumbs. It's below crumbs. But you see, as long as I'm in that, that's why I'm angry. Because I know there's some biscuits here for me. God took care of that. But I ain't never seen one. And I'm standing at a table. Enron folks, y'all follow that ripped off $600 billion? They're not in the 1%. They're in the 99%. Enron folks is in the same group I'm in. Huh? In the same group I'm in. Enron. Just a handful of those elite folks that control 99%. So one day I said, that's why we're angry and mean and bitter. And walk down the street with evil looks on the face. You ever happen? Them brothers and sisters happen. You ever see this? Walking down the street. And when they run to you, they ain't bad and they selling you something. Because commerce wasn't invented there. They ain't bad and they got something in their hand. They selling you. Somewhere. So one day I just decided that since I ain't never had a biscuit, I don't know what a biscuit look like, and I'll never get a biscuit, I'm getting out the biscuit line. And my life changed. My life changed. I got out the biscuit line. And I stood over here with the 1%, and I explained to them, I'm not one of y'all. You know, I know how y'all got to be wrong with you. Kill your mama, you fool your mama, you fool your daughter, you fool your son. So I don't deserve to be with y'all. I just want you to know that I'm not in the biscuit line. And while I was talking to him, I saw what a real biscuit looked like. And it is nasty. But because they control this filthy, because the vibration that's inside of me, I transfer it to the food. You can't be a whole and don't transfer it into baby's milk. You can't be scheming and nasty and hot. You can't tolerate a white racist system and not transfer it into the baby's milk. The vibration. It's the vibration. And whatever you are, that's what you vibrate. So I got out the biscuit line. Baby, hold this for me, would you, brother? Hold this for me. Stand up, hold it. This is a soap where they hold your head so they can see it. It's a submarine. Y'all know the submarine? It's down in the water. And it's $1 billion sub, $1 billion. Like this here, subs up. Come up like that, like that. $1 billion. And all the human beings are down. And there's a telescope. You been drinking? Put a little crack in it. Now, put that right there. Like that. Like that. Yeah. Okay. You ever seen the telescope? Huh? Telescope. Right. The telescope is nothing but what the telescope sends down there determines what that $1 billion sun will do in human beings. To tell you which way they send the torpedoes. But this is nothing. Huh? Did y'all get all of it? Then how come you don't understand that? This is your God force. It's in you. And this is your telescope. And whatever you feed down there, make that God force to tell you what it's going to give you. God is a good God and says, I will never tell you what to do. That makes me God. But whatever you feed down to me, I'll give it back to you a billion times. So if you feed, I got to go to work. God will see to it you had 24 jobs and don't pay nothing. I'm at a funeral not too long ago. My brother-in-law died. My sister was going to shake up. I was, for different reasons, I owed him about $2.5 million. I was just trying to see if the debt was really canceled. Make sure you go. So they thought I was in love with it, but I was all over the car trying to see if they had breath. And they said, I didn't know he felt that way about, well, his old trifling son was behind me. His son's so trifling, he cashed in his daddy's life insurance policy before his daddy died. And asked me, don't you owe my dad some money? I said, there it is, ask him. There it is, ask him whatever he said, I will lie about it. Yeah, I went to a funeral, and the preacher said, one day we'll all be here. I canceled out immediately because I'm not going to send this down to this God for us. I didn't come to your funeral, brother, to identify with the dead. I came to pay my respects, and I asked somebody to reduce me down to death. When I see a woman walk down the street and look at her for any other thing other than just being another human being, that's when I'm reduced down to here. And then God forces to give it back to me. So you just tell yourself who you are. If you never looked in the mirror, you wouldn't know you was ugly. But you ain't going to take nobody's word for something, man. So once you convince that you're ugly, but you ain't got the right outfit on, there's something down here that will make you ugly. You remember the little girls in school, little bitty legs, little short nappy hair, and everybody says she thinks she's cute. Think about it, because she thought that she was. So we have to stop leaving tonight thinking that we're sick, thinking that we need something. I never understood how people can commit suicide. Thank you, brother. I never understood how people can commit suicide. And now I realize that when I keep feeding through my skull to this God force that things are so bad, that God force will make me go into the hotel and jump off the 50th floor. The power. You got here the same way I got here. My penis went into the vagina. And ejaculated out of it was 500 million sperms. And the sperm responsible for me is the sperm responsible for you. It outran 500 million sperms and got to that egg first. So I don't need nobody to tell me I am somebody. I'm the result of one sperm outran 500 million. And so I'm going to reduce myself down to working for somebody? I get up every morning, I'm praise God, thank God I woke up. It's a drug police who wake up. Look what I woke up this morning. Y'all crazy, y'all saying crazy praise. I said, thank God I made another 24 hours of the most vicious, insane, racist, ungodly, animalistic system that ever existed in the history of the planet. I made it with my wits, I made it with my humor, I made it without being bitter, I made it, and I'm still lovable. Thank you, thank you. Because once I can make you mad, man ain't something you can be mad, you can't turn it on and turn it off. I came here today with a pocket full of horse manure to throw on all y'all because I don't like it. I had it in my pocket for 3 days. Who pockets something for 3 days? Yours or mine? And when I had dinner with my wife's family last night, who smelled the horse manure? Your family or mine? And if horse manure in my pocket for you because I hate you makes my pocket stink, think what hatred do in your mind. To your whole body. If I had a choice between having a stinky mind or a stinky pocket, I think a stinky pocket because I can throw my coat away. Show me a brutal, no good, racist cop that will whoop a nigga's butt. I'll show you when it whoops his family. It ain't no accident that police is the #1 divorce occupation in America, and their second wives is whores. And nobody gonna talk about how much alcohol and drugs they need to survive. And why do you think black cops don't shoot white folks in the back because they thought their cell phone was a gun? You think black cops is more spiritual? You think they better trained? They know white folks ain't gonna tolerate it. And when we get to the point to let this white racist system know, we ain't gonna tolerate it. It will stop. So that means what? Go get your gun? No. It means get your gun in here and sit it down to that God for us, and then stand on the corner when the cop comes by and say, hey guy, how you feel? Move on out. So when you go and look at barbershop, Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks will survive the filthy thugs. Who they really hurt was barbershops, because the best white person in the world, few of them has ever been in a black barbershop. Why would they go? So when they saw barbershop, they think that's what all black barbershops are like in the black community. And we have barbershops in the black community where the preacher goes with his wife. On their way shopping, he go get a haircut. We have barbershops where you take your children. And it ain't no cussing and filthiness going on. They want to know how you doing, son. How you do? What's your teacher's name? Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir. You know.
Most barbershops is like that.
Yes, sir.
Then they got some barbershops where pimps hang out and drugs is sold. And sold, that's what that barbershop was. But when a white boy writes the script like he goes to that if something happens to that barbershop, when y'all go in that type of barbershop, 99.9% of the stuff that niggas is talking about is white folks. And they're funny, and they talk about honky this and honky that, not once, did they be talking about Clinton and Monica Lewinsky. They be talking about priests ripping off little boys' boots. Huh? But when a white boy writes the script, then y'all go and see. And thought it was funny.
Yes, sir. That's right. That's what they did.
Thought it was funny. If you've seen it once, you should go back and see it again, and you understand what a thug, low-down, dog-centric is. Because even when they was rolling the credits at the end of the movie, he was still bad mouthing teeth.
That's right. Soul to soul.
The movie was over.
Another one is
The movie was over.
Yes, sir. Soul is soul.
Huh? And you Muslims, huh? You better come out here with us, because it'll be Farrakhan and Elijah Muhammad, they be doing it too next. Once they realize they can get it through. I realize that y'all too hip for the statue of veterans, so I take this brother here and make you a millionaire, boy.
They say.
But you're gonna name yourself Two Dogs, Snoop Doggy Dog. No. Have you ever heard a Jew refer to Hitler as a dog? Have you ever heard a Christian ever refer to Judas as a dog? He is a black man and calls himself Two Dogs. And y'all didn't see that? And then, it ain't no accident that after he become a dog, you became the bitch in the lyrics. I got the male dog and the female dog. And the word bitch is only a dirty word in America, because all over the world, the word bitch is a female dog. So you use that, or somebody says, I gotta go feed this bitch, I'm going to feed a female dog. So after he becomes the dog and she becomes the bitch, then we produce little bow wow. Y'all want to see? Y'all want to see me do that? But you think he's so here? And then Prince was told, change your name, punk. The word Prince means king in waiting. There's one prince on this planet. That's a white boy named Charles. And I dare on back down and look at somebody that looks like him calling himself Prince. So Prince had to fake it make believe he was mad at the record.
Whoa.
Then y'all sit around and say that thug, nigga, punk, said have a right to do that, but they made Michael Jackson take the word juvie out of his song.
That's right. That's right.
But you say, well, the rappers, they just rap in real life. How come the mob don't rap in real life? When the priest gonna get together with a rapper, we're talking about little boys, who did they ripping on? How come everybody that's still on the planet don't do no rapping but me? Keep your filth at home, and you niggas got to stop all this old bullshit. Like here's some old thug nigga here, and he can teach you something. You can't teach my child, man. You can't teach anybody no nigga criminal.
That's right.
Why do you always think somebody who had a hard time? I say, boy, I want you to go to camp and learn how to rough it. No, I want to rough it like DuPont boys. No,
That's right.
hello. Somewhere, y'all hear this good. Tomorrow, people say, well, you buy bottled water, a little bitty old bottle of water, depending on where you buy it, it costs $2 or $3. I said, when I was drinking whiskey, a shot cost me $5.